Anyone out there yet? Amy, I'm so glad you're here. I was starting to get nervous.
I got to tell you, like the link doesn't work, of course.
Yeah.
So you got to join. I'm texting Clark right now that to join using the meeting ID, but oh, I don't know why they have a trouble with that. This is what
Yeah,
I do all day.
I think we're not used to Zoom yet.
Well, I know it's funny. No, my Halloween costume was the Queen of Zoom, right? Because that's what they call me at work. So I wore Anna's crown and all of her stuff. And I took her blueberry sash and made it the Queen of Zoom, or the National Zoom Queen 2020.
Nice.
I know. It was super fun. So I'm trying to eat my dinner too at the last minute. Mm. So how are you, George?
I'm well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
we're leaving tomorrow to go see my grandson and Carla
Yeah.
and Karin, so that's fun.
Awesome. Good for you. Hey.
There they
Oh, we
are.
got a new spot. Brad's in a new spot.
Yeah, we got kicked out of the council chambers. Him and I are hiding off in the conference room.
Are you? Awesome. Yeah. That's right. That's a little cozier anyways. I feel better for you there.
Yeah.
And we can hear you.
Yes, I made sure we had a microphone this time.
Woohoo.
So last month when Larry was here, we didn't have this microphone set up.
Oh, you did it?
It was all the way across where the television was, and everyone kept saying, "We can't hear you. We can't hear." So we're yelling across the room trying to get it. Yeah. So I made sure that we had that tonight.
Yep, you're loud and clear now. Life is good.
Good.
I was just telling George that my job is all Zoom now for Area Agency on Aging. All I do is like run Zoom classes, run Zoom trainings, teach people. So for Halloween, I was the queen of the Zoom. And I had a crown and a sash and a gown. The whole 9 yards. It was fun.
Thanks for looking at those minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I went back. They go all the way back to December of 2006. I was like, man, this is, 15 years ago that this plan originally started. This whole project started. It looks like originally they were planning on doing phase 1 and 2 all in one swing, and it was supposed to be a lot more mixed than what it is right now.
Yep.
So it's evolved quite a bit over the last 15 years.
And there was another important one is when RJ Peterson was able to purchase the property, the railroad right away that went through there.
Right where the trail is, yeah.
A lot of people wanted that to be sold along with the property. And they said, well, later on, we'll buy it back.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, we just went through one of those in town where we had to pay out the nose.
That's the original map.
Because I was on city council then. So I carved that out.
Yeah.
And notice it got paved before anything got built over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a good move. Mm-hmm. 4 minutes.
I'll shut the door over here that way. There's only one other person in here. I think the cleaning lady's in here too. Don't want to be conducting the meeting having a vacuum cleaner right down the hallway.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got 6.
We got quorum.
Yep, we got quorum.
And how do they call in for this one, or do they have?
It's all up here. So what we'll do is when we open the public hearing, we'll just ask, for anyone that's there to announce themselves and open that way. So it's been posted and noticed on the city website and in the agenda. So.
So they have to zoom in.
They have to zoom in. when they got rid of the two-way thing with the telephones and the computers and all of that and went to Zoom, we got rid of the telephones altogether. So there's no longer a call in, but that'll pop back up, I'm sure, once we get back when we ever get back into live in-person meetings.
Janice, do you know, is the library open now? You have to unmute.
You're still muted, Janice.
I know that they're relocated, but I haven't been there since they've relocated.
So, because the one thing I wonder, if in this day and age, if you don't have a computer, how can you contact us?
Yeah.
And the only part they would be able to is the free access at the library.
Right.
As I understand it, people can still go around the building. And I know at the college, they did that a lot, and they were able to hook into the Wi-Fi just by sitting in their cars around the building.
Okay.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else is having trouble, but I used the link that was in the email from Marcia, and it wouldn't let me on. Wouldn't let me on to Zoom. So.
Okay.
Me either, but
I'll keep it never seems to work properly. At least we all now know to go to the backup of typing in the password on the website. So.
Very good.
Correct. And you guys, anybody can join a Zoom meeting. If they have the actual invitation, we'll give them the phone number to call that's local to where they're at, and they can listen. It doesn't necessarily mean they get to see what's going on. They can't see the documents that are presented and that kind of thing, but there's always access via a phone if people want it.
Yep.
And I've been told I have more of a radio voice anyway, so maybe the visual thing might benefit callers. Is Iris going to hang out for the whole meeting with us?
Iris is being very naughty at the moment.
Okay.
She has been all over. I have a 3-month-old kitten, and she's been all over the desk and caused all kinds of trouble already. So I threw her to the ground. Let's hope she's going to behave down there, but she might make it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Brad, that normal link said ZBA.
Did it?
Yeah,
I wonder if you sent the wrong link over. Yeah.
it almost seems that way.
So I said, at least we're all in hands now of the secondary motion of just going to the website and typing the password. So
I was looking for Larry on the ZBA and I couldn't find him. So.
We have everybody going.
yeah, I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8.
Who's number 9?
Who's number 9? Who are we missing?
Rosalie,
Rosalie. That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
she just texted that she's got an old link. So
Okay. So she's trying to get into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, why are you in Alaska?
it's just getting us ready, Tim. You know,
That's disheartening.
it's called planning, getting ready for it.
Okay.
It's a couple months down the road yet.
All right, so we have 7:01 and we'll hopefully Rosalie will be able to join us, but we will forge ahead. So I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Planning Commission, City of South Haven Planning Commission to order. And roll call. Sleeper.
Here.
Heinig.
Here,
Varney. Gruber.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Neese.
Here,
Heinrich.
Here.
Stegman. Here. Placati. Not here
Yet.
yet. Now we'll do the approval of the agenda.
This is George Sleeper. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Clark Gruber, second.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Oh, we gotta do roll call for all these, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Sleeper,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Varney, Gruber,
She's saying yes.
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Nice,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Item 4, approval of the meeting minutes of the October 1st regular meeting.
This is Heinig. I move that we approve the minutes for the October 1st regular meeting as printed.
This is Nice. I second.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a roll call. Let's see, we'll go Heinrich,
Yes.
Nice,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Varney. Janice indicates a yes. Stegman, yes. Item 5, interested citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on
There she
this
is.
agenda. And let the record show Rosalie joined us at 7:04.
Yeah, thanks for waiting for me, guys. Thanks.
Back to interested citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on the agenda. Is there anybody logged in right now that has an item for the planning commission? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business, which we don't have a backlog for once, which is nice. And move right along to new business. So new business, item 6 is 2123 Appy Way, which is the Key West Marine Docks located at 423 William Street. And Brad, why don't you give us a little synopsis for this one?
Yeah, Mr. Bob Sanowski of the Key West Marine condominium group there has applied for the Planning Commission to review his site plan and application that he submitted to the Harbor Commission for his docks located at 423 William Street, which is behind the old Harbor Inn. This application is regarding the removal and replacement of 7 wooden pilings, the installation of 4 new wooden pilings, and the extension of 3 of the finger piers. And 2 of these slips will have boat lifts installed in them. And right now, let me see. The primary reason is similar to what we've had before. The elevated water levels have compromised the equipment there and the infrastructure, and they're looking to replace this stuff. So the Harbor Commission did review it a couple weeks ago, and they did approve. I did try to include the minutes from the last meeting for the Harbor Commission in there. So hopefully you've all had a chance to take a look at that.
Does anybody have any questions for Brad? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
This is Heinig, Mr. Chairman. I move approval of the application for 2123 Appy Way.
This is Gruber. I will second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a roll call vote and Nice,
Yes.
Cotty,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Varney. Yeah, she indicated a yes. Heinig,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Sleeper,
Yes.
okay. Next item, new business is number 7, which is 131 Cable Avenue Plan Unit Development Amendment. And we need to also do a public hearing. Why don't you give us a
Correct. I'll give you a little synopsis of it, and the applicant is here as well online, so he's here to speak and answer questions. Mr. Matthew O'Connor has applied for a planned unit development amendment to construct 4 units of the new Everett Park Phase 1 condominium project. The original proposal that was approved many years ago was for 20 total units, 12 on 12 sites, 12 single-family home sites with 4 duplex sites. Last November, the 4 duplex sites were converted to single-family home projects. That was an option that was allowed back in the original 2006 approval. The developer at the time suggested, depending on what the market dictates at the time, that they may request to change those duplexes to single-family homes. Therefore, what happened was it lowered the density down from 20 units to 16 units. And the developer would like to move those 4 additional units over off of Elkenberg Street. So that would continue to keep the 20 unit density that was approved.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about what's being proposed? Rosalie.
Hey, so the driveways would be off Elkenberg.
I believe so, yes, Rosalie.
Okay, and I had a question, actually. I walk around there a lot. So I noticed that all the lots, all the empty lots are marked as sold. I assume, well, I don't assume anything. Are those lots sold by, bought by individuals ready to buy homes, or are those sold to buy, to build spec homes?
That would be something Matt would have to answer. You're on mute also, Matt.
Sorry, this is only like the 3rd one of these I've done. Yeah, it's a variety, to answer your question, Rosalie. I mean, it's a variety. There's a lot of people from out of town. There are some year-round residents there. So as with any development, it's just a variety of purchasers.
Well, I just saw that as really unusual, that every single lot has been sold, which I guess is wonderful. And I was just curious as to, I just found that unusual that every single lot was sold, and what was happening with them. So that was one of my questions. And then the other question is, how are you seeing the short-term rentals fall out in that development?
Again, it's a variety of, it depends on the house. So it's just a variety of circumstances with each person's choice that's in there. But with COVID and with interest rates right now, I mean, there's just, I mean, you guys are seeing that there's just a lot of activity in the market right now, and we're seeing the same as a lot of other developers are seeing, and other subdivisions throughout really Southwest Michigan.
And then I'm sorry, and then Brad, if you could just answer me one last question. In the original PUD, short-term rentals were allowed, right?
I don't believe it was indicated that they would be in there. It didn't explicitly state that they would be allowed or not. That's something I guess we would have to go through a master deed to see if it's allowable by the association. I don't really know, Rosalie, if it is or not. I think.
Well, I just know that some PUDs, you know, they fall in that weird thing that some PUDs, we've said no short-term rentals, some PUDs are exempt from our limits.
Yeah.
So I was just seeing where this would fall, because adding more, you know, houses that are potentially short-term rentals concern me. So I guess I would really like to know the answer to that. if
Rosalie,
you're getting
I can tell you, we are exempt on the short-term rental. So this PUD is an exempt PUD.
Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
And could you reiterate, the PUD allowed for how many units, and this is a decrease?
The PUD allowed originally 20 units for this phase development. Originally, the proposal was, and I included it in the packet and then sent an additional, the original approval and master deed out to you all today. They originally approved 12 single family sites and then 4 duplexes. So there was 8 additional where those duplexes were. So a total of 20 dwelling units. The original developer of the project, and I can't recall off the top of my head who it was back in 2006, did state that he asked that he may change those 4 duplexes to single family homes depending on what the market was at the time. That at the time also, this was a much larger development with lots of mixed, stuff in there at the time. And then, as we know, you all approved to change those duplex units last November to single family units. So essentially what that did was lower the original approval amount of 20 down to 16. So what the applicant's suggesting now is just taking those additional 4 that it was originally approved for and relocating them into a different location on the phase 1 site.
Mike.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I did have a chance to. I tried to research the history, and Brad was very helpful in that. It's quite a narrative getting to where we're at today. If you go back to the 2006 discussion, I've characterized it a bit differently than you did, Brad. There was a great deal of concern at the time in 2006 whether there would be low-cost housing available in it, affordable housing. They even mentioned senior housing in it. And I agree that at the time it was a much larger, the vision was for a much larger, more complex, if you will, development. However, then I also looked at our discussion last year when we granted the last exemption and looked back specifically, Clark, at your discussion and your questions about, well, what happens to the spots for affordable housing? What happens to the multiple family plans that were talked about? And Matt, as I recall, and as I read in the minutes, your indication was that was still in the offing, looking into the future. But the 4 you were asking for the exemption for back in November was immediate. And by the way, it's something I supported because that development needed kickstarting. I mean, it sat empty for a long time. And I'm thrilled when I drove and did my site visit to see all those sites being developed. That's wonderful. So my argument is, I think we kickstarted it, and I need to know from Matt what his plans are to fulfill what he talked about in our last exemption, that we would indeed still see affordable housing addressed and some multiple family residences in the development.
Sure, no, that's a great question. And so, and again, appreciate, and I agree, start this, it's a large project for a size of this community. So we've which we call phase 2, which is the east quadrant. We've also acquired phase 3. So we're master planning that right now. It's, as you know, it took since 2006 when RJ got involved in this, or probably prior to that, since 1998. But it's just taken. It's a large project. I mean, it's 24 acres. So yes, I mean, we still intend to have some form of multifamily here. It's just given the current market conditions with COVID and with the demand of second-time homes and people also relocating out of very, very urban areas and putting permanent residents in lakeshore communities. That's where we are, at least on phase 1. So yeah, by no means do we not intend to have multifamily. I mean, that's what we do, is multifamily So yes, I mean, we're just trying to bring additional housing to that neighborhood, and I believe it's going to really kind of finish off phase one and be a comprehensive phase. And I would note that on Sunday we had a Zoom call with the neighbors, which we view as our partners in that association, and I'm sure there's going to be some comments there from some of them that are on the line here. But I mean, we're trying to create a nice community there on phase one that is going to roll into phase two, that is going to be a multitude of uses. So I don't know if that answers your question adequately, but that's our strategy right now. Sure,
it does. Thank you, Matt, for that. Again, just to further my concerns on it, you know, I have great respect for the marketplace, and I think a private developer has all kinds of room to do whatever they should to increase their return on their investment. That's just great. But I think it changes when you ask for help from the city to do so. The city now becomes a partner and part of that plan. And I have concerns, other than a statement of your intent, that we're losing an important part of this project as it was first envisioned, which is to fight this trend we have in the city for the increasing value of real estate that's making it an impossible place for people to live full-time. You know, I watch one metric more than other when it comes to the city, and that's the number of full-time residents we have. And the trend is we're losing them every year. So something needs to be done, and I'm not putting this on Matt's shoulders, but as the Planning Commission, I think we need to take into consideration we've got to be mindful of this trend. And when the average price of a house that sold here in October was $495,000, we're not doing much to keep our bargain with the people to look for affordable housing options. So again, I'm a little wary about what's going to happen in phase two and phase three to keep that part of the bargain.
Hey, does anyone else have a question for Brad or Matt? Janice.
One question. We received a couple letters from neighbors regarding open space or green space. Now, I noticed that in the original document, it said that it meets 15% of total project area for open space. Was that 15% also for phase one, or is that for the whole project?
That's for phase one, Janice. And how I calculated it was the open space includes all the common element of the community in phase one. So as a comprehensive whole, the 15% is met. It just doesn't seem like it so much because there's that large section that's there that is open. But that is just specifically for phase one. So each phase is site plan different, and I'm sure it's going to all flow comprehensively once they all four, get together. But we look at them on a phase by phase basis for percentage.
And I'm from your comments, I gather that it meets that standard.
It does. It overall across the whole phase, it does meet the minimum square footage for the 15%. Again, I think it's a little confusing because there is that large area that's just open and not built upon. So it just really jumps out, and you look at it and see the units going on that is taking significantly away from the space, which it is taking away from the open space, but it's not taking away as much that it's going to affect that 15% threshold.
Okay, so that's so I understand. We're saying it meets the standard for phase one, correct?
Yes, for that threshold, yes, it does.
And my second question is for Matt. Matt, like Rosalie, I walk by that area a lot because it's in my neighborhood, but I'm wondering, those homes that you're thinking of building, but against what would be the detention pond, I can't visualize the space, and we weren't given any, a sketch of how that would look. So is there a backyard to those homes that will be along that stretch?
There is a small area. We're still programming exactly how those are going to work. I mean, that's the memo from Niederveld Engineering that was provided in our packet or our application. It explained some dimensions. So we're still working through that, but they're going to be very consistent with the homes that are that we're currently constructing in there. So we're still programming through that right now. So I'm not trying to not answer your question, but I'm just saying we're in that process right now.
Yeah, and I would like to compliment you on the homes. They're very attractive and it makes for a good looking community. I just can't envision those extra homes by that detention plan, detention plan, because of the hill that goes up and where the home sits along that street. I'm talking Elkenberg now.
Yep. So yeah, again, I'm happy to provide data as we get it. But again, we've got the right team in place that's designing all of these right now. I think it's just a fluid process that we're working through right now.
And those homes also will have garages as well?
Correct, yes. So yeah, they'll have off-street parking.
Thanks.
Okay, any other commissioners have a question? Clark?
Yeah, I too run and or bike on the trail there multiple times a week, and it's been explosive to finally see something happening in that area, which is nice. I was also though a little concerned because, you know, when I looked at some of the information provided where that retention pond is designated, or at least it's called an open area in that deed, and with the retention area, and then with the building lots provided, they go quite a bit into that area. And I'm again concerned about that from a drainage perspective. And I know we were provided with the drainage, but I would think that pond is part of that area, and that the houses appear to be, or at least projected building envelopes at the time. And I know that's where Matt's at, is, you know, you got to put something on there for projected building envelopes, also impede upon that. So I'm concerned that area is potentially going to be another issue, and we're setting ourselves up that way. So I just don't know how that's going to be addressed if the city engineer says, no, you know, that area has to stay. And then a quick question to Brad. The actual streets weren't included in the open area, were they, in their calculation?
No, they were not. They by definition in the PUD, by ordinance, we cannot count streets and sidewalks.
Okay. So go ahead, Matt, why don't you address what's going to happen if the city engineer isn't good with impeding upon that area?
Well, again, I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but this is why our group is contracted with Niederveld Engineering, which provided you the supplemental information. This is why I've been working with Brad and Kate for the last couple months on this. So, I mean, again, I think the intent is, we are initially approved for 20 units. We had an amendment last year that went down to 16. We're trying, now that we've seen what the market is doing, we're adding, going back to the original plan of the 20 units. I mean, Brad could probably speak to the stormwater. Again, I'm not an architect engineer. I don't want to speak out of turn, but yeah, I mean, we'll have to cross that bridge, I guess. I mean, but I think we've got enough of the right people sitting at the table to make sure we're doing something that's responsible. and that's why we pay them.
Well, again, that's my concern is, you know, by going in and saying, all right, we'll change those duplexes to single family. And now, oh, I want to go back and put 4 more houses into an area that according to the deed is considered open. And then when I see the envelopes impeding upon part of the drainage area, which is fairly important in that area, that I'm just wondering, I'm just not sure if they're going to fit. And I'd hate to set us up with our engineer an issue where there isn't just room to have that pond and 4 houses. So what are your, I guess that's coming thrown
Yeah,
out.
well, I mean,
I don't know if that's you, Mike, or Brad.
Well, I guess my comment on that would be, if we're generally on the same page with the concept, then let's work towards some conditionals that we're going to agree to. I mean, we'll certainly agree to, I mean, we don't have a choice. I mean, that's the law. I mean, we'll have to agree to get the zoning and permitting and engineering to sign off on it. So all we're trying to do is progress to adding additional homes on the original plan. So, I mean, the original plan was 20 units. We want to get that phase 1 finished out with 20 units. We're also going to do, and I see Katie's on the line here, we're also going to do some improvements to the amenities. So we're going to do some additional improvements to the clubhouse and to the pool and to that common area. And the addition of these 4 units is going to allow us to do that. So again, we'll agree to do, well, we have to agree to do what the law says. So we're just trying to say, you know, we can't, all these things can't, it's a linear process. So these things can't just all stack up on each other. We just have to say, here's our intent. We'll follow the law. And we want to continue to hire contractors and employ people and build buildings in that development. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's our perspective.
Clark, can I just say also, I think I included Mike's letter in there, his memo from engineering. He did review all the information that Naderveld had, and what was, he did not approve it as is. But the reason for that, he told me, wasn't necessarily for the volume of drainage coming off. It was just the site location. And he said that that's something that as a preliminary, you know, it's not approved, but it is something that can be worked out if the developer is willing to do so before the city signs off on it. So, you know, it's something that we understand at the city that this is we're not going to be signing off on any projects on anything until everything is, you know, perfect and stuff like that before we go on to the next step for approvals. And
I appreciate that, and I know that the team works hard to make that happen. I just look at the size of that and wondering how that could be potentially re-engineered with the houses that are going in there. And I know the intent is to somehow, you know, change the duplexes to single family, but I didn't realize that suddenly, you know, X number of months later, we're going to try to put 4 more houses in there, and on top of some space that was already kind of designated as that runoff. And I know that it looks gorgeous, but you know, if I had seen that in the original plan to go, we're going to put houses here now, instead, now we're going to kind of go over that drainage. We'll try to figure out how to redraw the drainage. I think I would rather like to see the drainage drawn first to know if the actual request should be 4 or should it be 2. And that's kind of where I guess I will leave it at that. But, you know, as is, I would be inclined not to approve. I would just like to see some really good conditionals or had seen a different drawing. And that's all. And like I said, I think the project's amazing. I run by it so often, I had no clue of all the things going up on Abel, which is like wild again, right around the corner there. So it's great that it's taken off because it has sat so long the way it was. So there you go.
Okay, anybody else? All right, we will
Comment on that real quick, sir.
yeah.
So I guess again, from our perspective, we're excited to work with the community. We're working diligently to provide you guys with adequate engineering. We've been working really hard with Kate and Brad. So that's my only comment is we want to continue to bring housing. We're willing to follow the rules. So we just want to keep pushing ahead on bringing more housing to South Haven. And obviously we're only 25% into this project. I mean, we've got the other 3/4 of this development. So we want to be a partner with the community. And again, Kate's been wonderful, Brad's been wonderful. So however we can collaboratively work together, I would just say we're going to have to kind of work with the experts on stormwater or depth or dimension, because that's not my realm of expertise. So I guess that's just my closing remark.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. All right, so planning commissioners, you've had some good questions. They've hopefully been answered, and now we can proceed to the public hearing.
Open it officially.
This is
Heineck, Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the public hearing for 131 Cable Avenue PUD amendment.
And this is Gruber. I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any other discussion on this motion to open a public hearing? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call. Nichols,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Licati,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Public hearing's open. Is there anybody who has joined us on Zoom that wishes to speak about this project?
I think we should call them out. Katie, are you there? Are you here to speak about this? Is anyone else here to speak about 131 Cable? Okay,
Oh,
there we go.
She's got audio coming.
Yeah. Katie, there you go.
Hi, everyone. Why am I muted on my phone?
Well, you have to turn your TV down or what, I don't know, we're getting some feedback.
Yeah, I was dialed in my phone, so I'm down there on the bottom right with a cell phone number as well.
Okay.
Can you take it out or turn this on?
Yeah, put one of them on mute.
I actually didn't have any comments directly. I am an owner. My husband and I are owners in the community in phase 1. And I really just wanted to listen in. I do sit on I'm one of the homeowner representatives on the board of the association. But other than that, I mean, I personally am in support of it. They've done a good job with the community. There were only 2 homes in there when we bought, and I'm happy that the community's come to life, and we love being part of the city as well. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Heinig, here, Mr. Chairman, I move that we close the public hearing.
Janet,
I second.
Okay, moved and supported to close the public hearing. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Sleeper,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes,
Varney,
yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Picati,
Yes.
Nice,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes,
Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Okay. Now that we've gone through that step, is there a motion?
Heinig here, Mr. Chairman. Just to comment on Clark Gruber's concerns. The engineers could have sat down initially with this and drawn you a grid and done calculations for 20 homes, 25 homes, 12 homes, any number. Originally, they could do that now and give you any number you want. So I don't think it's significant that we started at 20 and we dropped it to 18 and now we're back up to 20. If the calculations show that the number of homes don't overload the drainage system that's designed, assuming that the calculations are done correctly and the criteria that was used to make that calculation, I think we should be satisfied with the work that's been done. I don't have any concern about it, and I'm not an expert on this area of civil engineering either, but I have confidence in the work that's been done, and it appears to be based on proper criteria. With that, I would put forth a motion to approve the PUD amendments for 131 Cable Avenue.
There's support.
It's George Sleeper, I second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to approve the 131 Cable Avenue PUD amendment. Any other discussion?
Yes. This is Todd.
Or Todd?
Yeah, the recommendation from staff includes 4 conditions. Should those be mentioned in the motion?
Larry? You're muted.
I hit the unmute and it didn't unmute. Yes, Todd, you're absolutely right. I missed that. I intended to include that in my motion. So if my second would accept that correction, we can proceed.
George?
I will accept that.
Okay. Very good.
and I have a question on that motion. So then number 4, the application shall further be reviewed with changes by the city engineer have been made to satisfy the requirements necessary for the department's approval before moving along for council approval. So would those site plans, I'm just wondering, would those site plans come back to planning?
I don't think so.
Okay, and I didn't think so either. But also, so this, any problems with the drainage? Because I understand that the drainage pond is designed to handle the 20, but in its current placement and size, it didn't have 4 properties built upon the pond itself. And that's kind of what my confusion and concern is, the placement of the homes and the building envelopes and or property lines or PUDs are unique in common area and building envelopes versus lots. So and I want to just find out from Brad, so does number 4, do you believe that satisfies my concerns?
I do. The reason I wrote that in there, Clark, is again, just to reiterate that I think Matt has to work with us here at the city, especially Mike over in city engineering, to make sure that these building envelopes for these units are designed appropriately in size, do not encroach into any drainage ponds or anything that are established. If they continue to want to have those units near that they would have to, reshape the drainage pond or something, just something so it actually meets a satisfactory review for approval by the engineer to do so.
And if we go forward, will this allow Matt the flexibility? And let's say through the redesign within his engineering firm, they decide they can only put 3 there. Would they still have that opportunity to do that then?
Yes, I believe so. I think a safe bet to say for that, Clark, might be, no more than 4 or something that's additional. For it. It's just something like that.
Okay, can I make that as an amendment?
Yes.
All right. I would then move as an amendment to motion to allow only up to 4 additional units. I want to give him that flexibility.
Is there support?
I'll support. Nichols, sorry.
Yep. Okay, it's been moved to amend the motion with inserting the language to allow up to 4 additional units. We'll do a roll call on this.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may we have a discussion of that amendment?
Yes, absolutely.
Do I have the floor?
You do. You have the screen.
Yes, thank you. As I've looked at this calculation that's been done, they're considering 4. It seems to make sense to have 4. We don't have the final drawings of exactly where that is going to go, but they've designed a pond that is going to take care of, accommodate the runoff from these 4 houses. I think the flexibility is already there. I don't see any need to put this additional restriction in.
Okay. Anybody else? Clark, would you like to respond?
No, I'm good with that because the city engineer has a lot of concerns with even the way they're drawn today, impeding upon that space. So I just want to give them the flexibility if they put up 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I think I'm adding to what you've got there, Larry. I don't think I'm taking away or restricting. I think I'm trying just to help with that because I think in the end, they may have to reshape that pond and find out they're only putting in 3. And I just don't want that to be an issue. So this may allow them to do that because if with the samples that they had provided, if you look at that, the engineers had already stated that he may even restrict that. So they would have to redraw that pond and they may have to take out one of the houses to get the pond back to where it needs to be. And I just want to give them that flexibility. And I think that's all that offers. I don't think it takes away or ties down the developer, but that's just my opinion. And we'll find it may get shut down.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, we'll vote on the amendment to the motion. And the amendment again is to allow up to 4 additional units as the new inserted language into the original motion. Everybody understand?
No, wait a minute, go back. So this vote is to amend the original motion not
Yes,
necessarily to approve the amendment to the PUD.
right.
All right, got it.
This is just to change the language from the original motion that Larry made. Okay. All right, we'll start out. Roll call. Sleeper,
Yes.
Heining. Larry?
Oh,
No?
you slurred that a little bit. I didn't understand you calling my name. The
Okay,
vote is no.
okay. Varney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Licati,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. So the amendment passes.
East was a yes too.
Oh, neat. Sorry, sorry, Mike.
That's all right, Tim. It was implied.
We got a lot going on right there.
Yeah, Marshall.
That's all right. They still think my name's Larry Neese, so that's fine.
All right, now we'll do the original motion as amended, and the original motion is to approve the 131 Cable Avenue Plan Unit Development Amendment with the 4 criteria, including the new language, allow up to 4 additional units. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call for this as well. I gotta make a new chart just in case. Nichols,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Placati,
No.
Neese,
No.
Gruber. You're muted.
Yes.
Varney,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Motion passes. Okay. There you go, Matt. Next up, item 8. It's 550 William Street, special land use application review, including a public hearing. Brad, a little synopsis?
Okay, so the same applicant, Matt O'Connor, has applied for a special land use review for 550 Williams Street. This is for a 6-unit condominium development along the 3-sided corner there. Basically, what we have to do is the ordinance states right now in section 60120 that if you have any multifamily in the central business district that has any sort of dwelling unit access on the ground floor, that it has to be approved as a special land use. This was something that we went over with a few months ago to do that. And also above the restaurants and stuff, but that's why Matt is here today. He's here with this proposal for 6 units, and he's seeking the special land use for this under section 601.20.
Do you want to hit a little bit about the height?
Yep. Yeah. Right now, what we've had some questions about the height. The plans themselves, the renderings do not have height listed on there. Presently, there is in the central business district, there's a maximum of 45 feet. That is the maximum ceiling that any structure can go. This site, if you are familiar with it, actually has a small hill on it. So how we look at that in the building department is we take the average height between the 2 grades. So we have the top grade and the bottom grade. And it's, if you look at the plans on there, they actually do have elevation points listed on there, and it's approximately 10 feet. So basically what we would do is measure from the top of the hill up to make sure that it's within the 45 feet, and then add an additional 5 feet to it to vary that, you know, that grade difference. And that's how we measure the heights for these structures in the central business district.
So if the building did not have a opening or front on the lowest level, and it was only on the top, it would be higher, correct?
It would be higher and it'd be measured from the top, correct?
The top,
Yes,
but this is not.
correct.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Tim, did you mean regarding the height or regarding the project?
The whole project. I just, that was one thing that stuck out to me, and I thought it'd be good to talk about it right off the bat.
Yeah,
I know
height's
always
I
an
got the
issue.
height thing,
Okay.
but I do have a question. Let's see, where was it? So the pool on the corner, I don't know. Does anybody have any concerns with the pool on the corner of that corner? I mean, it looks beautiful. And Matt, you do beautiful work. I'm not concerned about that. I just thought that's a little weird. But you know, as I walked that today, that's a really small area. It looks very small to me, but obviously there's enough room. To get into the development, you know, I don't have it in front of me again. I think we have some very challenging egress and ingress. I'm sorry, that's my idiot dog. That's a tough corner, you know, to pull in and out of. And there's 2 driveways on Broadway right now on that property. Is there only going to be 1 driveway, or can somebody refresh my memory on that?
Yes, 1 driveway, Rosalie. The 2 would be removed. So it would only
Okay,
be
and
1, and access would only be from Broadway Street.
Good, and it's as far away as the corner is
Yes.
legally possible.
The minimum required.
Okay, and then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the minimum required.
And then the other question is, I know that house that's already there has another entrance right off that property. Is that going to be a problem for that house, or because it kind of butts right up to it? I didn't really notice that in any of the drawings.
Yeah, I mean, and we own that house, but you'd have to.
Full house.
Yeah, you'd have to walk the site. This is an extremely unique site in the topography of it, and Brad can speak to that. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of topography going on there. So no, I mean, it's actually probably ideal for the house to just enter off Williams Street. So then you're only going to have the traffic of the 6 new units coming off Broadway. So I think it actually helps, to be honest with you. The topography, well, it's unique, but it also, I think it just helps. So that's my opinion.
Okay. I think that was my only question. It looks like a cool development, actually. So thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Todd.
Yeah.
Todd and then Janice.
Couple questions, kind of related to what Rosalie was just saying. The building that's there right now, basically this development is in its parking lot. Are there dedicated parking spots remaining that are designated for that existing building?
Yeah. So when we obtained our special land use permit last year for that building, we have 4 dedicated spots that are on Williams Street. If you drive the site, the lower level has a parking lot that fits four cars. They have to stack 2 and then 2, you know, in front of each other, but there's adequate room for 4 cars there. So that was taken into account, because when we went to get our special land use last year, we were initially going to do 7 units. Now we're pivoting a little bit to do 6 units there, But we're adequately meeting the parking. We've already researched the zoning, so we're actually, I think we're over parked by one space pursuant to your zoning ordinance. So all those units will be adequately parked off. The new units will be adequately parked off site or on site, off street, and then ours will be, and then the lower house or our house will be 4 spots for that house.
I think you answered my question.
Is that
I did go on the site. I didn't go down around the other side of that building. You said that the dedicated parking spots are on William Street, but did you mean off William Street? Are they on? Are the dedicated spots on?
I'm sorry. Yeah, they're on the site. They're on our property.
Okay.
Yeah, you enter our property from William Street, and we have, it's probably in your guys' packet, but we have Niederveld did a drawing for that too, which allowed us to get the special land use last year when we bought the building.
Okay. Yeah, it looks really nice. I was trying to imagine, because there was some discussion in our packet about the height. And it is relative to the colonial condominiums across the street. It's significantly lower than, I believe, that's, I think, an additional story, maybe a story and a half higher than this. The large building.
Yeah,
this might not be a question for the applicant, it might be more for Brad.
I don't know exactly the height of that building, Todd, but yes, I mean, we have to see the final plans with the measurements on there to guarantee that it's, 45 feet or less. But from what the renderings seem to be and the way that we would average out the grade that's there, it seems that it would not reach the 45-foot maximum height level.
Good.
And we've done the topography. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sir.
That's all I have.
We've done the. Oh, okay. We've done the topography. So we hired or bought the topography survey, so we know exactly within inches exactly what that site looks like and where that building's going to sit.
Thank you.
So just for the record.
Okay, Janice.
Yes, I have several questions. One has to do with short-term rentals. Is that possible in that area, or is that restricted?
It's not restricted, Janet. That wouldn't be something I think that they would have to highlight in the condo association agreement.
Okay. And then my second one, I'm so confused.
Yeah, and again, these are not.
Go ahead.
Matt, you were saying?
Oh, I just was going to point out these are not going to be apartments. So these are going to be for sale condominiums. So again, it would just be whatever your ordinance says those people have to abide by.
Okay, Janice?
My other question is, I'm confused about the height because the renderings seem to show, and maybe I'm on the wrong street, but it seems to show that the units go all the way down to street level. And because of the way the cars are parked, it just seems like it's all on street level. And now I'm hearing that it's possibly up on a hill.
It's built. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're down on William Street, Janice, the height from street level to the top of the lot is approximately 10 feet tall. And even though on William Street, the units are going to go all the way down to the sidewalk level, how we would measure the height overall to the top of the building is to take the average grade. So we would take between the two, so it'd roughly be about 5 feet off the ground.
Okay, so then soil would have to be removed. Half of the soil on the hill would have to be removed.
I'm anticipating they would have to remove some soil in order to construct the structure, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Clark?
Yeah, I was looking at from the height perspective too. It looks like most of the hill would be removed because I think these buildings would be about the same size as the Colonial, because the Colonial has about 4 floors, and I think the condos, when you look at the lower and then the entry and the upper and then the roof, because the roofs also seem to have living space and a deck up there, would be very similar to that Colonial building, like right next door. And that's what was throwing me off as well, is because it looks like we're going to remove the hill. So will we still have that change? Will that change the grade on both the Broadway side and the Water Street side if the hill's removed and then the construction begins? I think that's just something to consider. And then I thought there were 11 parking spaces. So we would Matt, are you guys looking to buy a space somewhere else for the one unit?
Oh, sorry, I was muted there. I believe we're showing 12 spaces. So when you count the interior parking structure spaces and the parking behind the garage and then the 2 parallel spaces, I believe we get to 12 because under the ordinance we're required 2 per unit, so 6 times 2 is 12. So again, I mean, we'll work through that. And oh, you're muted there, Clark.
Yeah, the drawing actually shows 11.
Okay.
There's 2 in each. There's 2 in the bigger units along Water Street, and then there's 1 parking space for each of the ones on Dykeman, and then 2 parking spaces in the back. And I think the write-up even said there was 11, and another one would need to be located within X number of feet of the development, but you would have to go purchase a spot somewhere as a dedicated parking, I believe, for the unit to get 2 and 2.
And yeah, and again, I'm going to leave that up to our designer and engineer. But yeah, Brad, I mean, you can speak to that. But again, we're going to comply with. I mean, you guys are going to let us pull a building permit. We're going to comply. I think, just as the last topic here, it's we want to invest in the 6 units on that corner, and then there's certainly some more not hoops, but there's certainly some more tasks that we need to accomplish, but we want to do that in conjunction with you guys and staff and Kate and Brad. So, you know, if we're only showing 11, then I apologize about that, but we will, if the ordinance is 12, we will certainly in some fashion provide 12 spaces there.
And sorry, Clark, can I just note, like you said, the requirement is 2 spaces per unit, either on site or at least within 300 feet of the site. And that's only in the central business district. Anything outside is different.
Right. And here with the central business district, we're still missing a first floor business on Broadway, because I think that was one of our requirements, right, is for developments downtown to have housing. The first floor requires I thought a business, because just kitty corner from this, we had looked at that Save-A-Lot, potentially a large development was going to go in there, and across the street there's retail, and also across the other street. So that still has, you know, a thriving area there. In fact, the Save-A-Lot is now completely filled out. Yeah. But at one point that was going to have housing above it. So I think that is just the one concern that I have in this, having gone through the process, both in planning and council, where people were telling us, you know, you got to make sure that there's going to be business there with housing on top. Just wait for someone, you know, to try to do something different. That's my biggest, is we're missing that, because Broadway was one of those required, I think the requirement street.
That's probably the best point made so far.
Yeah, what it is, Clark, and this, the applicant would have to go and receive a variance if the special use is approved tonight.
To get a variance.
They'll have to go
Okay.
and receive a variance to do so because it is located on Broadway.
Okay.
I have another question. This is Janice.
Yes, Janice.
I noticed on the renderings that there are balconies. And I know that we have just discussed balconies in the commercial area. So I was wondering if those were going to be a part of the plan.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we're similarly to Trailside, Everett Park, we're still planning this. So there's several steps in this, and we're on step 2 of 6 right now. So yeah, I mean, we would love to have outdoor space. I mean, that activating outdoor space is, I think, ideal for the community. I think it gets people outside. I think it gets people socializing. And so, yeah, I mean, we, in some facet, we want to have balconies. Again, we will comply with what your ordinance requires, and we'll build them to that standard. So yeah, we are just in that planning process. So to not answer your question, but to answer your question, yes, we want to have some form of outdoor space, and we're working through that. We just wanted to, the purpose of today was to get to a point of, look, we want to do 6 units here, and we're going to comply with the height restrictions, and we're going to comply with the parking restrictions, not restrictions, but ordinance. And so that's really what the goal is here today, but we want to activate that space and have more people living and walking. We think it's a very walkable site, so we really want to encourage the walkability of it. And so that would be my answer to that question.
Thank you, Matt. And then there might be possibilities for balconies on the back side rather than on the sidewalk side. Just throwing that out.
Okay.
All right, Mike. You have to unmute.
I see it. A question for Brad. Would the special use permit be dependent upon gaining the variance for the business before it was approved?
That was something that I discussed with the applicant. I felt that it would be necessary to get the special use approval before we seek a variance, strictly because I felt that the zoning board would not grant a variance if it was something that the planning commission had not taken a look at yet. So I chose to go this route to seek the approval through a special land use first before we go to the zoning variance application process.
And if they denied the variance?
They can do it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
And I think I just wanted to throw in, and I know these are just preliminary drawings, and I think there was a lot of great forethought into balcony space that was done in subcommittees. But I think the way these drawings have, these balconies are actually not over the sidewalk. So, you know, it's on the property of the development. So I think that would assist in that not being an issue with regards to balconies. I believe, because it's when they're over a sidewalk, that's where we potentially can, you know, miss something and drop the ball, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. All right, anybody else before we consider the public hearing? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
This is
Rosalie, I'll
Clark
okay,
and Rosalie, are you seconding?
sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Been moved and supported to open a public hearing. Any other discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call. Larry Heinig,
Yes.
George Sleeper,
Yes.
Placati,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Marnie,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Is there anybody that's in communication with us that wishes to speak about 550 William Street, special land use application review? Seeing nobody, we'll reverse the process. We need a motion to close the public hearing.
This is George Sleeper. I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, George.
I'll second.
Rosalie will support again. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a roll call vote. Gruber,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Barney,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Okay, public hearing's closed. Now what do you guys want to do with this one?
This is George Sleeper. I'd like to make a motion to approve the special land use application on 550 William Street with the 4 recommendations, or the 4 conditions recommended by staff.
Okay,
I second. Neese?
Neese supports. Any other discussion? Clark?
It's hard to say, I can't see, I'm not in favor of this because of the lack of retail on Broadway, but then there's another board, they have the opportunity to go ask for that variance. So, I feel like I'm kicking the can down the street, but I don't think I as in planning have the ability to say no because of that. So I just want to get that on record.
Well, and I think you also look at over time, all the commercial property located near the city center that is now residential. And as we bring residential into the city heart more and more, do you know what kind of complaints we've gotten from residents about bars with music and things like that? So, and then the parking's big, and if, especially one like this, do you say, yes, you absolutely have to have 2 parking spots on site? And we have the option for offsite, but how many times have we approved things where that parking was supposed to be purchased offsite? Plus you have what the Maritime Museum project now. That's a lot of parking that they don't have. So parking's at Bob Burrow be in a good position over there.
But I think they've allotted for almost all of the parking, and they may be able to redraw what they've got back there, or just be able to purchase a parking spot somewhere. But they've got 11 offsite spots and they need 12. That's not bad. It's, with most short-term rentals, just because there's X number of people and X number of bedrooms, there's nearly always a lot more cars. And I see that in the neighborhoods. And I've done that myself, renting homes. So I see that, but you know, it's a good looking project. It's an area that has this kind of housing. So I just feel like I may not be really want to say yes for this project, but but then we're kind of pushing it along to someone else and they've got to get a variance. So there is a two-step process for this particular project. And I'm not necessarily telling the other board what they should be doing. I just can't see a reason to say no, because now they've got to go get their variance. So.
Okay, Mike?
Yeah, I support and reinforce what Clark's saying as well. I think the project itself fits our master plan to the T. I love the idea that we're getting residences downtown. I love that Matt's concerned about walkability. I think that's going to be very vibrant. But I share the same concern. I'm not sure, and I'll trust Brad on this, but I'm not sure about the sequence. But as long as it's certain that we had quite a contentious meeting, if you all will remember, around this issue of having businesses on the first floor of residences, in the central business district. And I just want to make sure that our citizens recognize that this is an exception to what they requested of us and what we talked about, and that we make sure that there's plenty of public notice, that they know that they can get in touch with the board that's going to be considering the variance, their voice can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
May I mention, Mike, that the notice did go out today. So, and that's at the end of the month.
Thank you, Brad.
Rosalie, and then Todd.
Yeah, I was just going to add, the reason I will support this too is that corner is impossible. And I can't imagine trying to put a business on the first floor. I don't even see how it would be possible really without this kind of development. So I hope that, the zoning board takes a look at that, because I wouldn't even know how to put that and work that into that development. So I think it's very unique.
Todd?
Rosalie took the words out of my mouth. It's a unique situation. The traffic there with these, how many streets converging, being able to get deceleration or acceleration or any kind of parking. The right of ways are all cramped. It seems not a good location for a first floor retail. So I just wanted to communicate that maybe via Larry to ZBA as they look at this. That's all.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, we'll vote on the motion that George made, and it was supported by Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the 550 William Street special land use application with the, how many were there? 4? Yeah, with the 4 contingent items. All right, we'll do a roll call. Let's see. We'll start out with Heinrich. Todd.
Yes.
Varney.
Yes.
Larry Heining.
Yes.
Sleeper.
Yes.
Licati.
Yes.
Neese.
Yes.
Gruber.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Okay, that passes. So there you go, Matt. You got all sorts of things you can go do now.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. And I just say, Brad's been great to work with. Kate's been great to work with. They have my cell phone. I'm in South Haven 2 days a week. So if there's an issue, we're more than accessible. So we just want to be good part of your community. So however I can help as we work through these next steps, never hesitate to pick up the phone and call me, because I'm available and I'm down there. So we just been going to South Haven for 40 years. So we love it down there. So.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with Travis soon.
Well, that's fine.
So probably the two big things, don't go over the height and have plenty of parking. All's
We
good.
want it to be as successful as you guys do. We want to be good neighbors in the community, so.
We'd love to have you move here year round, Matt.
Actually, my wife and I talked about that this morning over coffee, and that's not another question. So we'll see, but I hope everybody stays healthy, and I really appreciate the time tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, interesting side note on this piece of property. In the 1880s, there was a giant Victorian mansion on that site.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
If you
Okay.
look at the old South Haven lithograph, you'll see it.
Okay.
Did it have a business on the first floor?
Well, that's what my point was. It was residence.
What was the name of that? What was the name of the company? Maybe that's what we'll name this development.
I think, and they might have had something to do with window sashes. So I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm really drawing info out of the gray matter there.
All right. Well, everybody stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
We'll move on to 9, which is commission member and staff comments. Brad, Travis, probably want to do the introduction.
Yeah, as you all know, Travis Sullivan is moving into the zoning administrator position. So starting the end of the month here with the ZBA meeting, he's going to be taking over the operation of the day-to-day duties. So he'll be here with the ZBA on the 23rd and then with you all on December 3rd. So welcome Travis in. I'm still going to be around, but I'm going to be more in the background.
After the elections, Travis had enough.
Yeah.
Came over playing.
I was going to say, yep.
Travis,
Yes.
anything you want to add in?
Not really. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Yeah, coming off the election, I'm looking forward to getting into something else. So,
What do you mean by off the election? Are you off yet?
yeah. So I will.
You don't have to answer that.
Yeah. Actually, well, in regards to our election, yes, we are done. We are complete. As far as I know, our canvas happened today and everything's good. So we're through.
Okay, we're glad to have you aboard.
Thanks.
Okay, so now we can go to, did you have anything else, Brad?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to commissioner comments. If you have any, I'll just call you out. And if you have it on mute, and tell us what you're thinking. We'll start out with George.
Okay, I just want to say welcome to Travis, and Brad, you've done a great job, and I'm glad you're still going to be sticking around. That's it.
Okay, Larry.
Brad, do you have a summary of what we may have on our agenda for next month?
For next month, right now, it looks like another shoreline stabilization project. It seems like one of those pop up every month. So we're gonna have one of those, and we're gonna try, and now that I'm gonna be doing some more planning type stuff, I'm delving more deeply into that redevelopment ready communities thing.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna visit some of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And my welcome also to Travis.
Okay. Janice.
Only welcoming Travis. It's good to see you. Good luck. We're looking forward to working with you, and thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Amy.
Ditto. Welcome, Travis. And just on a side note, I hear from some of your people that worked the election that it was a really cool, very well run process. So kudos to you. And I hope you've gotten some sleep since election day.
Mike.
Welcome, Travis and Brad. Really a big thank you. You've been a real asset and really have helped us a great deal. Just for us as we look forward for our meetings, I really do hope we can find some time other than the emerging business that we always get to talk about the tourism economy and the Michigan Planners Association article. I still think there's a lot there we should be considering. All this time off, that I haven't really wanted. Just give me a chance to go back through and take a look at the 25 goals that are laid out in the master plan. I think it's time we look at that. And I would love this group to engage at some point for a little deeper understanding of the economic strategic plan moving forward. I only say that because at times I might appear as a curmudgeon, but I always worry about what present actions mean to future outcomes. And I think it's dependent upon us, the commissioners here, to be very well versed in those 3 future looking plans. Thanks.
Okay. Rosalie?
I agree, Mike. Travis, welcome. Don't believe anything that Tim tells you about me. I'm very easy to work with. I just want to give you all an update though on our golf cart ordinance. I've been hanging out at the council meetings, the last 2 council meetings. And to George's credit, the council was working hard and putting it together. For a minute, they were going to kick it back to planning. And I swear, George, I was not complaining when I said we already gave you our recommendations. But I wasn't being rude, but I was just a fact. We gave you our recommendations. But I do want to tell this commission that they have removed a couple of things that they didn't seem necessary. One being a windshield, one being the horn. That there would be, they removed a manufacturing identification number, and that there would be no restriction on age on the back of the golf carts. There was a lot of discussion on that, just trying to figure out what would be the appropriate age and how would a police officer or anybody else figure out if that kid was 5 or 10, as long as that kid is in a seatbelt. So the really important things were covered, the seat belts, the turn signals, the brake lights, the 1 person per seat. And most importantly, I think, were the identification numbers. They're going to be either going to be big enough on both sides so that, say, we see something that is out of ordinance, that in a non-emergency, we could call and report that, or they're going to be using some kind of a license plate. So just know that it's moving along. Probably at the next council meeting, it'll be approved. If you have any problems with the things that were removed, you obviously have an opportunity to lobby your council people. But I'm just super happy that we got her done, and we'll have a safer summer next year. There was only 1 person that's just said no to it, and I respect his opinion. And I heard him, and I certainly heard enough comments that there are a lot of folks that follow the rules. And, they were angry that there are additional restrictions now, but it's because of the folks that didn't. So I hear that. And I know Matt's not on the call anymore. What I really love about his development, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, his garages are in the back of the houses. And for a community to have the front of the house be the front of the house with the garages in the back, that is so important. So I wanted to give him kudos for that, but he's already gone. So I think that's all I got. So we're good.
Okay. Todd. On mute.
Thank you to Brad. Welcome, Travis. Thankful tonight for Mike Neese and your input and your homework that you did with regards to the Everett Park PUD. I wish I had done more reading about it and gotten more background. When I see those PUD come in like that, even though it's a renewal or revision, I always try to think of a creative way we can encourage the developer to acknowledge and understand that a $465,000 average house for sale, that sold in the last period, it's so bad for South Haven in terms of developing, bringing young people here, bringing young families here. and pushing people out, having houses that, and I wish I just encourage us all to, and I'm going to do it, try to think of creative ways to encourage folks like Matt, who seems like a nice guy, to help us out, help us try to figure out a way to bring that number down, to make houses more affordable for people who live and work in South Haven. That's all.
Okay, Clark?
Sound like a broken record, but looking forward to having Travis in that position. I think he's done awesome stuff for the city, and like I said, it's time to wear another hat and take on even more responsibility and different responsibilities and different skills. So that's awesome. And and to Brad, what I think just the materials and the memorandum that we get, having been on planning for so many years, was a breath of fresh air and professionalism. And I'm glad that that Travis has an opportunity to see a format like that and to know it has really been extremely helpful looking at these projects. So, that's definitely something your organization and you have brought to us. So I do want to say thank you. And I'm glad you're going to be around for those big projects and to help Travis in his learning, which is awesome. The projects, we definitely gave a lot of yeses out tonight, but everybody put a lot of time and effort into it. And I think Matt, to his credit, even looking at the drainage, went out and had a study done. I mean, at least he comes fairly well prepared with some background and information and understanding. And that's helpful for us. So that's it.
Okay. Well, it does seem it was pretty short with your attendance with us.
Yeah, only 4 months.
Only 4 months. We're just getting started. So, but anyway, and I see how smart Travis is. He waited in the wings till short-term rental was done. Then he said, "Yes, I'll come over." But no, good to have you aboard, and hopefully it'll be a good mesh for all of us. I think it will be. With that, I do want to circle back to what Mike was saying. And Travis, maybe going into the new year, if you listen back to the tape of what Mike was talking about, and you and I could talk about it, maybe we could do a planning commission workshop specifically for that, that's outside our normal round of activity. Because I do think it's worth us looking at and
that's the whole point of it.
Moving a little more with it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I think that's it. Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Clark. I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Todd, support.
Todd supports. Any other discussion? And it's such a shame we got to do roll call for this too. But we will. All right. Roll call to adjourn. Gruber.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Neese.
Reluctantly, yes, because I know that means Brad's leaving.
Very nice. Picardi.
You know where to reach me, Mike.
Picardi, yes. Heinrich.
Yes.
Sleeper.
Yes.
Heinig.
Yes.
Barney.
Yes.
Stegman, yes. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of the month.
Be well, everyone.